Secret momentum. Secret momentum. I'm assuming, did we ever get an official not coming from Danielle? I did put her up, but yeah, that's my thought too. Go for it. Shut up, John. No, you can't.
Well, hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Clear Skies Perseverance. Heyo! We took a little week off because we deserve rest, and everyone deserves rest. And so, we are back. I am light on announcements tonight. I will just say that there is the Explore Mars Summit is coming. Humans to Mars Summit is May 16th or 18th. If you haven't already gotten tickets, I believe they still have some tickets for sale. Use our discount code ClearSkiesMars to get a discount. And I heard that Dr. Cyan Proctor is going to be there. And who else? Some very, very cool guest speakers are going to be there. So if you're interested in Mars and space travel and can be or want to be in Washington, D.C. that weekend, go check it out. Also, as always, as ever, shout out to Modifius. The Clear Skies, I'm looking at our link. The Lower Decks book is coming out later this year, but there are a couple of things that you can get now. You can get the PDF player character sheets for the Lower Decks cast, and you can also get a PDF adventure set in the Lower Decks era, so which I have been told not to read. I'm not reading it.
I want it. Why don't I have it? Modifius doesn't like me.
You have it, right? What?
Oh, wait, I do have
Don't you have it?
Yeah, no, sorry, I do have
Oh,
it.
okay.
I went and bought it. I was totally impatient. I'm not waiting for somebody to send that. I bought it. Went and grabbed it.
Nice. And I think you used our link, so thank you for that. But yeah, use our link, tinyurl.com, Clear Skies Lower Decks. No spaces or underscores or anything. That's kind of all I have for announcements. Any cast announcements?
I got one. Oh, I beat Bonnie to the punch. Holy hell. How did that
doing
happen?
Oh,
No,
man,
too late. I won. I got the initiative. No, that's what happens. Yeah, I just wanted to announce to let everybody know that if you are playing Star Trek Online, just so you know, the Phoenix Prize event is going to be ending very soon. It ends on the 4th. So get in on that while you can if you haven't done it yet. Also, right now they're having the bundle sale. If you guys are interested in buying a bunch of bundles too, because we love our friends at Cryptic, and Star Trek Online is doing a lot of stuff. I just found out that they're doing a 25% ring bundle sale right now. So after the game tonight, I'm probably going to go buy some keys to open lock boxes. But that's just me, because I want Lobi. Anyway, so yeah, definitely check it out if you guys wanted to get in on that. But it's the Phoenix Prize Pack is going to be ending on the 4th.
She didn't tell me that she's in the game.
Oh, sorry. It was supposed to be a surprise, and then we just forgot.
I mean, I'm so proud of you, baby. I wish you had told me.
Any other announcements?
Oh, that's it. All right, let's play. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No, you're good. So we just recorded the latest episode of Dungeons and Dragons. If you're a Patreon member, you'll get that tonight. If you're not, it'll be coming out Wednesday. And also, I just really wanted to say a big thank you to my partner. I've been developing a game and scared to play test it, so they printed it out. So we've been playing it. So thank you, Anita.
Nice.
And the last thing is there's this really awesome book that I've been reading, and I just love for everybody to check it out. It's called Welcome to the Blood Bar. I think somebody might be able to tell you a little bit more about that, but just highly recommend it. Check it out.
Thanks.
I think you should tell them more about that. What is that about?
Well, I'm writing an interactive visual novel, and it's about a vampire. Well, it's about becoming a vampire and then running a vampire bar, and all the drama and mystery that also happens when you are a vampire and a new vampire. Yeah, it's low-key a little bit of an allegory for also becoming chronically ill. A little bit. It's in there if you look for it. Not too far from the surface either. But yeah, thank you so much, Noir. And yes, oh my God, I gotta thank all of you, everyone here, because I hit and surpassed my readership goal for April. Ooh. Oh my God, it's so exciting. And so now I'm just gonna, I have about 3 more chapters to finish this story, and then I might do a sequel to this story. We'll see. but it should be done, by the end of this month or shortly into the next month. So definitely check that out. I will be tweeting when I add new chapters too. So until we have push notifications from Storyloom, they're working on it. It's in beta. So definitely, check it out if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you. Okay, that's it. And also, please, I just also have to shout out Kaitlin again because the cocktail art is so good, and I need to work it into another chapter so that we can see it again because it's so pretty.
Maybe we should do a cover with some of the cocktail art.
Well, let's talk about the sequel, please, because
we should talk.
I might want more art,
Maybe we can talk.
I want more.
Okay. Bonnie.
Hey, everybody, because this is where you can find me because I don't know how to press. So May 5th, 6th, and 7th, which is this upcoming weekend, you can find me in Philadelphia at the Galactic Diversity and Inclusion Convention, which is basically, it's going to be so much fun. It's all Star Trek, Orville, and other sci-fi fandom actors, as well as people in science and STEM and astrophysics, all getting together and celebrating both science, nerdiness, and diversity. So it's going to be an amazing event. And also a wedding is happening. It's a lot. It's going to be amazing. And then on, where am I? May 20th and 21st, I'll be in Long Island for Star Trek Long Island. So look those up. If you all are in those areas, come and hug me. and just say hi. You don't have to hug me, but you can. I'm giving you permission. The end.
I can't believe.
I think that's all.
I can't believe how quickly Star Trek Long Island snuck up. I was gonna try to go, but it's way too late for me to make plans now.
I don't even know what my schedule is for any of these. I'm like, am I on panels? Like, how many shows am I doing? Am I performing? I don't even know. I'm just gonna show up and hopefully they have a ticket for me. I mean, I think they have a ticket for me.
I'm sure they will.
But I don't know what I'm doing yet for any of them. So keep a lookout on my social media because I'll post something like a schedule. I gotta first get through today. We gotta now get party in space right now.
Yeah, we are heading to a big athletic jock event. So get ready, nerds. We're crashing the jocks on Mars. And do we have one more announcement, perhaps? Two more announcements, perhaps.
I'll speed through super fast. I produce a podcast called Thin Places Radio. It's a little paranormal radio show. It's currently on a tiny little break because of health reasons. Everything's fine, but we need a little rest for people to have good health. Second of all, I'm on a show on Sunday nights on Q Times called Cases of Costa Vega, 5 p.m. Pacific. It is a kind of blue skies, lighthearted, sibling solving mysteries. They're definitely not qualified to solve, but doing it anyways. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but there's maybe a familiar face that will be coming in a soon one, and one that's coming soon. Anyways, check it out. It's very fun. We're playing a game that I designed, which is also available on itch for free. You can download that. It's very fun. I hope you check it out.
Yeah. Fantastical. Sam?
I love my dog. That's not actually the announcement, but the truth is that despite how delightful she is, that little creature can't even recognize herself in the mirror. Unlike parrots, who can not only recognize themselves in the mirror, but they can recognize other parrots in video calls, because people have taught parrots to make video calls. They call their friends. They show their friends their toys. Please go to my YouTube channel and find out more about parrots making friends over Facebook Messenger. Yes, I was planning on using the Facebook pun either way, and then it just turned out to have been the platform that the researchers used. Don't miss that science. It is wholesome and delightful and up on my YouTube now, youtube.com/Delevely, DELEVELY. Go check that out because science is wonderful. But I don't do science tonight. I am Token Jock. Let's go, Token Jocks. I'm excited.
Woo! And with that, we shall head to the south of Mars. Mike, let's build. And welcome to episode 8 of Clear Skies Perseverance. Last we left off, we had a bit of a split party situation, but like in a fun way. So we had Ty, Veluth, and Reon on a road trip. They took our Perseverance rover, newly rebuilt and named after the original, took it out for a spin, out across the Martian wilds. They're making a couple of pit stops at the behest of their pilot, but they're on their way to the Southern Winter Games, or the long name being Southern Winter Extreme Sports Games, but that's too long, so we just say Southern Winter Games. You know, swag. There you go. And so we had that group visiting some of the Mars heritage sites, the final resting places of multiple different rovers and landers. And then we had a couple of other of our party members back on the station, still dealing with some either last minute personal things and or last minute work things that they had to wrap up before they could head down south on this trip. So we're actually going to pick up on the station, the stragglers of our trip, which are Qila and Kaz. Now I'm going to say the group has already left. They're about half a day ahead of you. But you also have the shuttle, which is only just a few hours of a trip down to the south of Mars. So you have time to do some other things on the station if you still would like to before you head out on this trip. Ensign Qila, can you tell me what you may have been up to during this time?
I was up very late, analyzing Vulcan facial
right.
eyebrows and facial. I was just trying to read to see if, of course, Captain Talon had liked me in any way. Because I'm a huge fan. Just want to really impress her, and no reason.
I believe you also did a roll for this.
I don't remember that part.
Okay, let me look at my notes. I remember. I might not
roll?
have taken a note on that. I remember you doing a roll to see how well you could interpret that data, or if you could find some good data. I think you think you were successful.
What's the more interesting path?
You know what it was? I remember telling you as a result of the roll that yes, you found some information, but ultimately what the info said was that Vulcans are individuals and there's no cultural norms in terms of facial expressions or... So basically you basically confirmed that you can't really Google how do Vulcans express themselves.
Well, that was a complete waste of time. I could have been watching the sports.
But at least you ruled that out as an option for interpreting Talon's.
Great.
So, okay, so you've done this research. Anything else you'd like to do before you
took a nap. I informed my book club that we would have to postpone a week since I've got sports to watch and wager. Haha, that's what I was doing. Making sure all the wagers for the games were set. Pure fun.
Yes.
Pure, nothing illegal or dangerous.
Of course not.
No. Just a little side fun, you know. Profit. For no reason.
Well, speaking of profit, you get an alert. Subspace message hits your inbox right as you're about to head out the door with your luggage for this trip.
I answer.
Okay. Up on the screen, you see the live image of your good friend in the book club, Tezer. Hello.
Tezer, how are you?
I'm good. I caught you before you're heading out, didn't I?
I assumed you got my notification that we will have to postpone for a few days. I'm going on a trip. It's very exciting.
I did. That's very exciting, Qila. But I just want you to know that postponing a week of our book club is potentially dangerous.
I wouldn't call it dangerous. I would say just on the side of caution. pushing off to the side a little bit. Just I feel like we've made some great progress these past month.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have read a lot of the book. And we just want to make sure that if, say, another book becomes available to start reading,
Yeah, I
then
see.
we're ready and we have finished the first book.
I understand. I will be sending you homework incoming.
Okay, great, great. We'll be just standing by. We're here on the ground with our books.
And with that, Qila's going to go into her private console, pick out a few selective reading material, and send it to her book club.
Okay, great. Oh, I just received those. Thank you so much. That will tie
Feel
us
free
over
to
very well.
peruse. Yes.
Yes, we will stand by with any updates if we have anything urgent.
Oh, good. Please do.
Will you be reachable where you're going?
Absolutely. I'm always reachable.
Oh, good. All right.
Within reason.
What would not be a good reason to contact
Well,
you?
I mean, I'm not a mind reader, or well, obviously not. But I mean, I can't predict the future. What if something was happening where like I didn't have my tablet with me, or my comm badge, or just was not reachable for some reason? What if I was in the facilities, and you'd have to wait a few minutes? I'm just these are all obviously random scenarios. I just didn't want you to think that I was completely 100% available all the time, which I usually am.
I understand.
I'm easy to reach. Just ping me.
I
Ping
understand.
me if you want to reach me.
I will. And I hope that your trip offers you much profit.
Well, there might be a wager or two on the side that I'm excited about, but not gonna go too off the wall. Just real quick, if you see my brother, tell him I said hello.
I will.
All right, Qila out.
Closes that screen. All right. So
Close the folders up, do everything I need to do, grab my bag. I picked out a very exciting outfit to wear, knowing that I'm about to journey, wanting to make second impressions.
Oh, yes, actually, I should give you the spiel about the southern winter, because you and Kaz, I think, were not here for the spiel. So, yes, you're heading to these winter, basically like the Winter Olympics and the X Games had a baby on Mars, and the baby is on steroids. It's very cold, extreme temperatures. As we all know, Mars at this point in our storyline, or in our universe, I should say, is re-terraformed, but it still has some extreme temperatures that could kill you. So everyone would need to be packing your EV, but of course, well, when you arrive, you'll see you won't be in an EV all the time. There will be indoor facilities, plenty of indoor time for you as well.
I pack a little special headband thing that I have that has like nice kind of fluffy, furry fabric on the side that covers up my ears a little bit, because my ears get cold. But it's very colorful. I'm packing that. I think it's pretty.
Wonderful. Okay. So as Qila is heading out, ready to catch the shuttle, we shift over to see how the day has gone for Tovaa Kaz, Lieutenant Tovaa Kaz. What have you been up to?
I think so. A lot of the player characters in this game are like have some sort of station or like ranking on the station. Tova's just like a guy, like it's just a worker. So I feel like she had like other shift stuff that she needed to finish, and that's probably one of the reasons that she was had to leave in a secondary trip. So I think she probably was just like going about her like regular day, like finishing her shift on the scrapyard. Maybe she had like a spacewalk or something to help with some salvage stuff, breaking some whole pieces off of in orbit in the orbital station and bringing back down or something to that effect, and then goes through her regular routine of shower, dinner, and then packs and gets ready to head out. Probably already made plans with Qila to meet up and travel together.
Great.
I think, yeah, just a regular work day.
Wonderful. Yes, you finish up the workday, and a lot of it is probably also still, breaking down that Ross, that old Ross ship, scrapping it, getting out the parts that can be reused or recycled. Yeah.
Did the having Entitina removed then from the ship, was anything damaged? Was there any like backtracking we had to do, or like is everything just kind of on track where it was, as if we had paused and picked up again an indeterminate amount of time later?
Yeah, I mean, there was some cleanup that you all had to do afterwards, but because there was that strong connection made with Entitina, you were able to Veevee was able to basically relay commands, and when you all wanted Entitina to withdraw from certain areas in a certain way, Veevee was able to kind of conduct that movement.
Cool.
All right. And so you two meet up in the shuttle bay. And there is a shuttle waiting for you. And standing near that shuttle, I imagine you both enter around this, basically at the same time, maybe from different opposite ends of the hallway. When you turn into the cargo bay, you see each other. And then you turn and you look at the shuttle that's waiting for you with the door flipped open. And you see Talon and the rest of Reon's family that's present.
So who all is, like, what are we...
Yes,
I didn't
okay.
see last episode, so
Sorry.
what do we see?
Yeah. I'm like, that's it. You figure it out.
And good luck.
Okay, so here we have, you see Talon. So Talon is, she looks in human years like maybe she's in her 60s. She has, actually, there's beautiful art. That lemon twist, Alistair. Oh my God, so beautiful. Beautiful art. Go look on the Twitter. I retweeted it yesterday, I think. But there's beautiful art of Talon. She has like kind of like a longish bob where the ends are dark hair and the top is kind of gray from the roots. She is wearing this beautiful teal long-robed kimono type of robe. And she's standing with her husband, Rylem Adenkar, who is Rylem Reon's father, Bajoran man. Also about in his 60s. He actually probably is in his 60s, whereas Talon is older. And then you see one of Reon's siblings, Rylem Junil, who is about mid-20s, young, and an athlete, a winter athlete. They.
And that's the one that's competing.
Yes.
That's the one I have wagers on.
Yes, and competing in, I think it's wind hockey, right? That's what I called it. Sorry, y'all. I did not thoroughly prepare my notes from last time, but it's in here. It's up here. Yes, competing in a team sport called wind hockey.
There's something else that Qila did. And I'm sorry, what was his sister's name again? I'm so sorry. Rylem?
Oh,
Rylem
Junil, actually. Junil.
Janelle is her first name.
Yes.
Okay, great. Actually, I'll wait till I talk to her. It shouldn't be the first thing I come up with. It's a little weird.
Okay.
But there was also something else Qila did besides research Vulcan eyebrows.
Uh-huh.
So was this, just for a general, was this like we knew we were meeting them here for them to take us? Was that the
plan? It's more like a scheduled shuttle to the Southern Winter Games.
Okay.
So
cool.
it's something that the shipyard wide, you would have known there were just these regularly scheduled flights going different places. But, this week, this special event, they set up this shuttle for employees and their families.
Sweet.
So I think Qila definitely knew that Talon and family would be here. I believe because Qila got to meet them before. But Kaz, I would leave it up to you as to whether you knew or not.
Probably not. I mean, we had Reon and Kaz had a very, very brief conversation about talking in circles around the concept of family. But I don't think it was ever exposited that they were coming here, as far as I'm aware. So
Okay.
I think Kaz is just like, has like essentially the winter version of like her regular jumpsuits that she wears. So it's like a little bit bulkier, maybe like a little bit darker in color. And she's just got like a duffel over her shoulder and just, you know, more people on the shuttle. Great. Is just like heading towards it, ready to go take her seat.
Fantastic. As you head over, the family seems to be having a light conversation, and Talon turns, noticing you, and says, "Oh, hello, Ensign Qila, correct?"
Yes, yes, Captain Talon. Yes, it's great to see you again. We'll be traveling together to the games. I took the liberty, and I look over to Janelle. I was like, I took the liberty to do a little research for you. Rules of acquisition number 194. It's always good business to know about new customers before they walk in your door. I took the liberty, as I hand them a tablet, I took the liberty of researching the opposing teams and putting all of their weaknesses and pros and con orders for you and your teammates, just in case you needed to do a little research on what best way to pulverize your opponents.
That's
Win. Go team.
thanks. That's like really great. It's really helpful. Thanks.
And it's technically not cheating because this is all public knowledge as far as I can tell.
As far as I can tell.
I mean, wait, you're intelligence, right?
Oh, of course. But I mean, this is all little things. Like, I did some observations and also researched the sport that you're participating in, the wind hockey, I should say. So if you see here, this player here on this team that you're competing with in later, in a couple of days, they tend to favor their left side. So if you went to their right, they would probably be a little off balance, would not be able to block you as well. Little things like that, just, you know, to help with your play-by-play.
This is really great. You know, we've played this team before, and I have noticed that. So they have a righty sail, but they're actually not very good at turning right because they seem to kind of, I don't know, sometimes, you know, you start playing with a righty sail and then you switch to lefty because you realize you're actually more dominant in the left. But anyway, yeah, I've noticed that, but I never could wrap my head around, like, what's going on with them.
It's just that some habits are hard to break. And looks like their left side is unbreakable.
I'm going to send this to my coach. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Tovaa,
and the whole time is like kind of side-eyeing Talon to make sure that she saw, you know, like, I did good.
And Talon is just as expressionless, pleasantly expressionless as always, just with an eyebrow kind of quirked up.
Tovaa is sitting on the other side of Qila. Like, you've got your like tablet out, and if you're like next to Janelle, like looking over at you with her like swinging her bag down her arms, like, oh, I didn't know you were into sports. It's like tucking into like
not really
totally
into
oblivious
sports.
to the
not really into sports per se, but I am into competition, and I have a feeling that we are about to crush the competition. Also, this team, 3 people on this team has a calcium deficiency. Just that doesn't really help with your competingness, but I also made notes of that.
Is there bone breaking? Is that a thing that happens?
No, I tried to get as many facts as I could. Some might be helpful, some not. Who knows?
Yeah, we actually have these like really intense arm pads more than anything because arms, hips, and like basically the joints are the most protected because when you're sailing, you know, our positioning on the sail makes it so that our joints are all kind of sticking out. So yeah, we break bones a lot. It's a pretty rough sport.
Sense.
And Adinkar says, yes, our child is very scrappy. She always has been, but we were hoping that maybe they would get into gentler sports like skiing, perhaps.
Skiing, yes. And Qila's like going through her Rolodex of sports research. That's the one with the downhill on the. Yes, the downhill on
the pulse.
on a stick.
Skis. You got it.
Talon
she just-
says, "Are you are there Ferengi sports that you are familiar with, Ensign Qila?"
Yes, there are quite a few sport type events on Ferengi. We're not the most physical. It's more of a way of making more profit. Seeing who can bet on who. I'm pretty good at knowing who's going to win and who's not even just a winner in sports, but just a winner in life. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm a good judge of character. As I smile creepily at Talon.
Do you tend to make lots of bets on people?
When you say bet, do you mean like actual currency, or do you mean I bet this person is a great person, or I bet they have a good head on their shoulders, or I bet they know their math? If that's...
I meant gambling.
Oh, I mean, just like I was telling your daughter, good habits are hard to break. I wouldn't say that I'm a gambler per se. I would say I'm a entrepreneur in predicting.
Statistician. That's Aliza mispronouncing it, not Talon. Talon would know how to say that word. Aliza doesn't. Statistics.
Yes, I mean, rules of acquisition 74. Knowledge equals profit. The more you know. And as she says that, a little rainbow with a star comes up. Kind of like in the NBC. The more you know.
Wait, what? Can everyone
I
see this?
programmed this. in my little
Whenever Qila does research, they have to wear a little brooch that has a holographic
mobile
projector that
holodeck.
has, and they share it,
Oh, Bonnie, you just broke me. Oh my god.
Tovaa has been skimming your little document, like, over your shoulder as they're sitting, like, not really paying attention to the conversation, and kind of points down and says, it says this person's allergic to gak. Is that one of the useful or maybe not useful pieces of information? Because...
Probably not so useful.
Okay.
But
Unless we wanted to, like, poison them.
unless there was a huge banquet the night before and they accidentally ate a couple of bites and then the next day they weren't feeling at their best. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. That would be terrible. I'm just saying if it did happen, you would know why they weren't feeling well. Probably gak.
This seems so much more intellectual than I was prepared for. But good to know.
Adenkar says, well, thankfully, Juniel was raised to know that we actually do not wish ill upon our opponents.
Never. No. Absolutely not.
Yes,
and also,
Juniel...
I'm also not very... I'm huge person against cheating. But Qila is actually being very sincere about this. I actually do believe honesty is the best policy, and that is not a rule of acquisition. Because I don't think any Ferengi's ever said these words. It kind of actually burns a little. But I just wanted her to have a slight advantage. Not cheating at all. This is actually, I promise you, Captain, all public knowledge. I just collected it.
Talon just slightly nods and looks out the window. And you all, the shuttle has taken off and you are leaving the station, and it takes off to the north and then wraps back around to head south, and you see the beautiful Martian landscape.
As we're taking off, Tovaa just goes, oh my gosh, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. You're Reon's sibling. You must be, oh my gosh, it took me so long to get here. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Tovaa Kaz. I didn't introduce myself when I came in.
Hey.
I didn't quite put that together.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet family of the group. Very cool. So sorry. I'm not good with names. That took several times to pick up. Good luck. We're here. We're actually going down to see you. That's super cool.
Cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't know my brother had so many cool friends. Really great.
Yes.
Real people person, that one.
Yes, he's wonderful. We all care about him very much here on the at this base at our shipyard.
Has he told
Qila
you some of the
is,
stuff
like,
he's working on?
Fidgeting.
We've got like new ship stuff. Like they're working on like revamping a whole new class. It's pretty cool. It's very cool.
What?
I have
2
not had
warp
a chance.
cores.
2 warp cores. 2. Yeah, I have
He's
not.
very excited about it.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I'm not like super into ships, but you know, I'm down for like y'all being excited about it.
Fair enough.
I honestly don't care much about ships myself, but it's really fun to watch him light up when he talks about warp cores and other engineering things that I don't quite understand. But it's when you watch someone who's very passionate about something speak about what makes their brain tick, it's fun to see them light up.
Yeah.
I will say I do
For
want to
sure.
get on that project very badly, so I'm gonna have to needle some of our superior officers about getting me on there because I would love to take a crack at some ship design stuff. Just like making conversation about ships basically at this point to like no one in the ship cares at all about ship. And Tovaa's just
And now Qila
Work
is even
talk.
more uncomfortable.
Tovaa just talks kind of over the uncomfortability. Like I think is just like just chatting, and anytime a conversation dies off, she just picks it up again and starts talking about something else. Like very like observational commentary, just like running sound until it to anybody who wants to pick up the tail of the conversation.
You notice a couple things throughout this few hours ride. You note about the parents, actually, Rion's parents. So Adinkar sitting to the right of the shuttle, and Talana sitting on the left side. And every once in a while, they kind of pass each other something, whether it's snacks or a pad with a book on it, or a little drink of something that the other got from the replicator. They kind of take care of each other in these little silent, subtle ways. You notice also that Juniel is just bursting with energy, and also actually similar to you, Cass, is just like likes to talk and fill the space.
The entire that fill the air, then the entire.
Yeah, you will have a great just like the conversation will continue for sure with Juniel.
You're talking about ships, they're talking about sports, and like nothing is
never the twin
relatable
shall
whatsoever. And I'm just sitting in the middle going like, what the hell are they talking about?
What are any of them talking
What is
about?
happening right now? Yeah. Very much, Kaz is very much like a conversationalist in which even if she doesn't really know what's being talked about, she's just delighted to like learn and hear about stuff, and also excited to talk about things that she's excited about. So it seems like a lot of information that is not 100% absorbed by the other party is passed back and forth through the entire thing.
So that's kind of how the rest of the ride goes. And as you all cross the equator of Mars, and to your front, you see clouds, like thick clouds up ahead towards the southern pole. And you also start to see more and more ice on the ground turning into snow. But as you zoom along on your path, the quick path, we're going to actually shift over to the people taking the scenic route. So, Faluth, Ty, and Reon. It's been, again, I'm so sorry. My notes are not complete from last time, but I think we said it was going to be like a 1.5-day trip. Does that sound right to you all?
Yep.
Okay. A 1.5-day trip, taking the scenic route, hitting up all these different heritage sites. And you do indeed visit some of the other rovers that and landers as well. Insight Lander, I think, is nearby where you were, and you got to learn about them and explore that ancient Earth history and science that looks so ancient to where you are all at now with your technology. But as you're in the long last stretch, where there's not many other heritage sites, it's kind of just, you're at the equator and south, it's just kind of a long stretch across the Martian plains. the weather outside is getting colder. You notice that there's starting to be some weather, some precipitation, ice on the ground, and those big, big wheels that this rover has. I think we said 4 on each side, 8 big, big wheels start hitting the rocks and the rocky hills between the plains. Your ride starts to get more viscerally, lots more movement. It has probably some suspension system, but yeah, sometimes it's going to be our classic TOS on the bridge.
Lots of fun here.
A console explodes for no reason.
Yeah.
I go sailing over the
Dang it.
chair and just get right back up and sit back down. Yep.
Niall Thrawn says, I've been meaning to get the suspension checked and improved on this. I'm so sorry. The Perseverance, she's been around for a while. She needs some work probably done to her. Ah, dang it. And sparks start flying from that console.
I would agree.
Apologies. Strap in, everybody. Just put your seatbelts on. I did have those installed.
Maybe we can just pull over for a moment. We're an incredibly overqualified passenger base to maybe address some of these suspension problems.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Let me, and she pulls you over onto the side of a rocky hill, bringing the Perseverance to a stop. All right. Whew. We have been pushing through. We could also just set up camp for the night. If you'd like to check out the suspension and see if you can do some improvements, I can set up camp for us all. I mean, we'll have to camp inside because it's going to get really cold overnight. But I can get that prepared.
I think that would be the best course of action.
All right, I'm on it. Oh, let me just show you around.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. She hops out of the shuttle and is ready to show you things on the Perseverance rover.
Oh.
Who hops out as well? Anyone?
Veluth is definitely hopping out because he wants to take a look at that suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah, he puts on thumbs up. Yeah, Reon's gonna head over and look at the engine.
Okay.
Everyone else is looking at the other parts. He wants to know about the thing that he is good at. It's not a dilithium crystal chamber, and it's certainly not a
But it
plasma
could be.
conduit. But it speaks to me. It's the heart of the transport, so I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay. So yeah, she pops open the trunk, as it were. And she says, so yeah, if you can see on this side and this side, those are the front 2, front 4 wheels, front 2 on each side. And she does start describing it. The engine, you notice this is battery powered. It's electric. There's an ion battery here. Actually, there's multiple ion batteries, 4 total. So there's like the 2 primary and then 2 backups, and they also help to recharge each other. There's also solar panels all over this thing on the top and back sides. So it's a combo of solar powered and electric run.
John mutters something to himself as he closes. Nobody can catch the gist of what he's saying, but it does look like he is saying something along the lines of disapproval as he closes the engine down. Just closes it.
I think he's not saying it, but Veluth is very much emanating Ron Swanson, I know more than you energy to anybody who's like looking at this thing right now.
Oh, it's
just...
Ty.
Yeah. It's just
Who's our driver again?
Oh, the driver is...
Niall Thyron.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, how do you spell it?
I have Niall, surname Thyron, Tellarite, short, curly pink mohawk.
Right, gotcha. That's what I remembered. Okay.
Yep,
Thank you.
Ensign. And then the spelling is of the last name is AWN instead of the ON, but
AW.
everything else,
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Veluth is gonna go in one of his fanny packs and pull out a sonic driver and just go, I think I have a few ideas for how we may remedy the suspension or lack thereof for the rest of the trip.
Please, have at it.
Well, let's get under there, see whether it's a spring tension issue or if we're dealing with maglev suspension here.
All right.
Absolutely. There's
And
like
Ty just getting ready to come under.
when Ty is basically saying what he's thinking about. There's this look of, okay, maybe not you. He just slides under and starts to go to work with Ty.
Oh, I like the shot of just their little feetsies under the Perseverance looking at it together.
They're just having a conversation while they're tinkering on this thing. Yeah.
Okay, let's make this a roll.
Yes, go.
Now, options. There are options here.
Mm-hmm.
Would one of you like to lead and the other assist?
I don't know that Veluth has it in them not to try and lead this.
Engineer much? Or former engineer? I mean, once an engineer, always an engineer.
Yeah, fixing things is his happy place.
Okay. Well, yeah, taking the lead, Veluth, this will be control engineering for you. And then Tairo, what's your approach to helping? How would you like to help?
I have engineered from time to time. I'm perfectly happy to take control engineering. I have a troubleshooting focus.
There you go. Great. Control engineering. Difficulty. This feels just like a tune-up we're doing. I would say just difficulty 1.
All right. I was also gonna say I have an improvisation focus.
Yeah, that could come in handy. Yeah.
All right. I rolled a 1 and a 14, and my control engineering is 15.
So that's 3 successes.
Yep. And another one from Ty, of course.
4. So bank 3 momentum. Did you?
We did it,
we've
gang.
changed. Yeah, you definitely did it. I don't know if you had any momentum left over from last time, but we've flipped scenes so many times. I feel like maybe
Yeah, I think that's fair.
you're
Well,
just
it's
at
a new
4 now.
session.
So, 3 momentum go into your bank, and yeah, you both are able to kind of take a look underneath here. You see that it just there's a lot of dust. It needs some oiling. It's as simple as that. You also do notice though with your improvisation, Veluth, that it seems like when this was built, they didn't have certain types of protective features. So for instance, like they had a certain type of like thick rubber tubing to help protect from the dust. But number 1, a lot of that has worn away. There are holes and the dust has been getting in. And number 2, there are better materials that you know how to replicate. Even on this rover, the small replicator here, you could probably replicate some better encasing for the moving parts.
Okay. And if I can, I would like for Ty to have kind of noticed that, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And just
If it's okay with Ty.
I'm happy for you to have because I am distracted by another thought.
oh, okay.
Well, maybe
then-
you both notice it, but you both all had other thoughts, it sounds like. So-
it's one of those moments where it's just like, oh, we can replicate the parts that we need.
And they're just like, you get that? I'll get this. They both see each component of what they're spotting. And Ty will push back far enough out from under Percy that they can kick their foot up to sort of knock on the door of the rover to Reon.
Reon looks up.
Reon,
from
are you
his-
back in?
Yeah,
Are you
he's
back
back
in the-
inside
okay.
the rover. And Neil's outside the rover or inside as well?
I think actually Niall would be inside with you and
Okay.
setting up there are basically bunk beds that she has been flipping down from the sides and just
does she
getting them
ever-
ready with
What is her
sheets and
rank?
things.
Ensign.
She's an ensign.
Ensign? Thank you. Didn't write that down. I just wrote pink mohawk.
That's all that's really
Yeah.
important, right?
Important
Like-
things. You prioritized.
Ensign, are all of Starfleet's terrain vehicles still relying upon wheels?
No. This is a special one because of its size, and it's also older. There are actually mostly a lot of the travel happens via shuttle, so yeah, no need for wheels with those.
I see.
What do you have in mind, Director?
Possibly some attention to our fleet of all-terrain vehicles, making them actually all-terrain. Perhaps gently chastising Starfleet for giving us subpar equipment.
I mean, if someone as high up as you were to give them the word, I'm sure they would equip us with better stuff.
Noted. I often forget that there are some perks to having a director's position. And then at that
Yeah.
point, he
Oh,
reacts to
goodness.
somebody knocking on the window. Are you getting inside, Ty, or are you just knocking?
No, they just pushed out far enough to do a kick knock, and I think from under they'll like flip 180. So if you open the door, instead of their feetsies, it's their
He's
faces.
probably. I don't want to keep opening the door because I don't want to keep making Neil put on her helmet. But I will communicate and be like, "Is that you, Ty, or are we being attacked?"
Yes. Did you see anything that would enable a variable power supply when you were kicking around that engine? I think the issue is the maglev tuning. So if we can feed through the electromagnets a bit, but you saw the power systems, I didn't.
There's about 7 different items on board that we could use as a variable power supply. Let me see if I can dig one up.
Perfect. Thank you.
And
My aching back thanks you double.
yeah, and then so Reon is basically going to start muttering, "Maglev." The 22nd century all over again. Start me like going through the back, and he's going to find some variable power supplies, some equipment. Looks around.
Cool. There also is that small replicator towards the back of
yeah.
the rover.
Yeah, we could use the replicator then. In which case, I'll feed some power to the replicator and actually give the exact statistics for. He's gonna get on the computer and just call up the blueprints for a power supply rated for this vehicle, and enter all of the information into the replicator itself, and have the computer create one.
Yep. Cool. That's definitely something that would be programmable for this replicator. So yeah, you enter in those blueprints and the plan, and
As it comes into play, he's going to pull out his tricorder and just run a quick scan on it to make sure that it's functioning, and he'll give it a quick field test. And then after a moment, he'll inform the ensign that he's opening the door again as he slides his helmet back on.
Yep.
And then he'll step out and squat down and hand it over to Ty.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're rated for it? We're good?
It's been, yes, that's specific to this design. Should be fine.
You pull that up?
Oh, that was in the inventory of the ship's computer.
Perfect. Bless.
I might have to recalibrate the replicator, though. It was not designed for industrial replication. I had to alter it to give us this tool. And if we want to actually have food that tastes like food, well, for you anyway, it's not a nutrient paste, then I'm going to have to spend a few minutes fixing that. But that should be good to go.
All right, well, let me know if we need to copy some paste for dinner. I'll take the suspension, quite frankly. But, hey. If you want to edit the firmware code, I'm not telling on you. Why choose between industrial and not paste, I say?
I enjoy the paste, to be honest.
You both are aware that I can hear this conversation, and based on Starfleet protocol, altering the code might be problematic for future endeavors in this vehicle.
Oh, sorry, did you want to make the pull request?
As you were. It's not good.
All right. I'll install.
We've just exposed this vehicle, this incredibly advanced piece of Starfleet technology, to the possibility of being corrupted by an external force through the use of my manipulation of the code.
Yes, and the external force wants chicken nuggets.
All right. I'll step back into the rover.
All right.
He situates himself back into the seat and just immediately, without any loss of momentum, continues his computations that he was working on for the designs.
You know what? I just realized for this type of travel, Reon, would you need to bring anything for like
Regeneration?
like a mobile regeneration? Yeah.
No, I did research on this. Borg former XBs can go sometimes almost up to a week without having to regenerate in their alcove. I can literally stay up all night just working on computations.
Ooh,
But then I would
it's a dream.
But then I would require 3 to 6 hours of regeneration when we're done. But no,
Okay.
I don't have to. I can be active for the entire evening,
Okay.
of which I probably will be. So.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, is there anything else that the three of you would like to get up to before you camp in for the night?
I just need to know. I just need a full, properly vivid description of Commander Valuth's jammies. What jammies do we got going on here? We're bunking down. It's sleepover time.
It's
Show
season
me the
1
jam
TNG uniform jammies.
It's honestly just the uniform skirt all the way down. But
Oh man.
Oh,
Are those
I
in
have to see that.
Are those in Star Trek Online? I should look into that.
we should get those. We should get those on there.
Yeah.
Wish we
And-
knew someone who might know those kind of things.
I don't know.
And just because he is a little bit corny, he does have starship slippers. One
Starflips,
is
yes.
one is the Enterprise, and the other one is let's go with the Defiant, because they don't match. But that's and when he steps on them, the Narsos light up.
Oh my god.
I think,
Merch.
Commander, do you have 2 left fleet?
I am aware of the pun and the reason why. I should let you know that the reason that I acquired these are because they are quite comfortable. Although the aesthetics, I can assume, draw your interest, I am only interested in their practical and functional use, which are being comfortable on my feet.
Of course. Aesthetic appreciation would be illogical. But fuzzy.
That is an apt description of them. They are, in fact, fuzzy.
Cute. Good night, Commander.
Good night. And he's got one of the sleep masks, but it's got like Jordy's voice.
Oh my god, so many merch ideas.
And while that is happening, as Reon corrects, while everyone's going to sleep, as Reon is in the back and finishing the recalibration of the replicator, in true Star Trek camping fashion, he is going to replicate our marshmallow.
One marshmallow?
Just a single marshmallow. Yes.
Perfect.
And that's it.
An echo of marshmallow.
They say
The Martian
fields of
winds
Mars are
take
haunted.
the voice. Yes. And with that, in the quiet stillness, of the mostly powered down, but obviously, there's environmental settings on still. But in the quiet of the rover, the wind whipping on either side of it, and the darkness of the Martian wilds around you, 3 of you go Betty by, and 1 stays up doing computations holding 1 marshmallow. And so we'll skip forward a little bit in time. Veevee is still tied up with work. She got some notes on her last draft of some cabin interior designs that she had sent in for the new Ross build. She is not happy with those, so she's just I have to work on these. I will meet you all down in the south place. I love that it's all white down there. Ugh, very cool. Off-white would be better, but it's snow and it's ice, so I can't blame it for not being off-white. We're just gonna have to make do. But she also has to get her wardrobe ready for the southern winter, so she's gonna meet you down there shortly. But in the meantime, you all meet up and arrive at the campus of the Southern Winter Games, Martian Southern Winter Games. Whether it's your shuttle flying into the storm and landing and parking at the bay, or it's your rover rolling into the bay, you both, I'm going to say you probably arrive within an hour or so of each other. What?
I just pictured our rover just like rolling up with like bass thumping and like hydraulics on the
Yes.
rover. Just like
All the hydraulics. Oh, that's what they
Rover
did.
itself doesn't move because of suspension.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. They added hydraulics. They pumped up the bass.
Just rolling up.
Absolutely.
All this smoke comes out as soon as the doors open.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Sorry.
National Lampoon's Martian Vacation.
Yeah, totally.
But yes, you all roll up into the shuttle / vehicle bay of this campus. And so now when you arrive, you can see that there's a valley with different mountains and hills of different sizes. There's one big mountain, and then don't look on the Martian map. I'm making this up. This is all just invention for the purposes of our story. But there are several rolling hills, and then one big hill where a lot of the bigger skiing sports, some of the cloud surfing, and some other sports specifically happen on the mountain. And then everything else kind of happens in the valley. The wind hockey happens down at the bottom of the valley. There are a few different rinks where other types of sports that happen on the ground are going to be taking place. Now, nestled into these rolling hills is a system of buildings. So there are buildings that are built into the sides of some of the hills and have really wide windows, floor to ceiling windows, so you can look out and see some of the sports happening from afar. There's also tube tunnels that are connecting some of these buildings built into the sides of the hills to other buildings in the sides of hills. And then another element are viewing decks. So these are sturdy, entirely clear on all sides viewing stations that can fit probably a couple hundred people at a time. You get there through these tubes as well. Sometimes there are lifts inside the hills from one building up to the viewing deck. And once you get up there, you see clear all around. Sometimes there's shading if it's a bright, sunny day. And then you also see that there are holographic monitors in the corners so that you can see the action happening either down on the ground or up in the mountain. So that's what this campus looks like. And as you are all arriving and reuniting, we have the air shuttle and the land shuttle people meeting back up. And Talon and Adenkar and Junil walk over to you, Reon. And Talon says, "How was your drive?"
It was a reminder of the fluctuating. It was boring for the most part, but we did have a interesting moment where the rover broke. Who
Really?
knows? And I got to see the Vulcan commander and his jammies, as I believe he calls them. Needless to say, I will need an
Salon-
appointment with the counselor when I get back. Otherwise, it was quite good. It was a joke.
Adenkar laughs out loud at this. Oh, goodness. Vulcans and their jammies. Am I right?
In truth, I'm actually quite fond of the commander. But he is wholly unique and interesting for a Vulcan, of course.
Talon looks at Veluth and says, well, that's good to hear.
Thank you.
I
And
think that
how
there's,
was...
like, I think there's like chatter coming from the shuttle as we step off, and like Kaz and Janelle are now on sports, and it's just like in the distance as they kind of get closer. Kaz being like, "Well, I did pre-season at the academy, but like winter stuff, like this is totally not my bag. So I'm excited to see what you guys have in store because it's gonna be interesting. I don't know a ton as they kind of catch up."
And you see Qila walking out, and she has things in her ears. She finally just gave up and put.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep.
Wait, what are the things in your ears?
She
We're too
replicated
loud.
some cotton, whatever things, some
Earplugs.
noise canceling anything. Because she sat in between them the entire shuttle ride.
Because
It
Kaz
was
doesn't sit by
delightful.
windows and flying crafts ever.
It's fine. I don't mind. Let's just say I did get a nap, though. That's all right.
Janelle says to you, Kaz, I feel like you would be really good at wind hockey. I think you should try. Like, I think they're doing some like really like chill lessons for some of the spectators between the games and stuff. So you
That's
should like
kinda
sign up for something.
I might. I haven't actually like seen this very much. I had whole work day to finish. Maybe your brother will tell you about the wild ship stuff we've got going on. But that sounds pretty cool. I might look it out. I might check it out.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was really good talking to you, Kaz and
Great to
Qila.
meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you. I gotta head off and meet up with my team, and I'm probably not gonna see you all until after my games because I gotta get into like focus mode. But yeah, it was really good to see you. Oh, hey, bro. Yeah, good to see you. And Janelle will just like give you like a weird bro dab thing that you have never responded well to, but she still tries. What's up, bro? It's good to see you. She's basically just doing this to you, and
To me?
yeah, I don't.
And
Yep.
she says, bro. Oh. Okay.
Yep.
He awkwardly just goes, yo, and
Yeah.
yeah.
What's up, bro?
Hey.
Cool. See ya.
Yeah.
And then she
good luck.
turns.
We'll be rooting for
Thanks. Yeah.
Yes, we'll be rooting for you.
you. Prophets watch over you.
Thanks. You too, bro. I'll see you on the other side.
So that prophets help you.
And Janelle
shred.
turns and heads down one of the tubes. And by the way, the tubes are tubes that you walk through, not slide. I just watched the Action Park documentary a couple weeks ago, and I realized y'all might be imagining different types of tubes, like dangerous ones. These are like
internet.
the internet tubes.
There's
Ancient memes.
there are schools up here where I am, and I'm sure other cold places, but like universities that everything is connected by tunnels
Yes,
underground because
that's-
it gets so cold up here. Sometimes in the winter, it is just not safe to be outside.
Exactly. That's the
that
idea.
kind
That's
of-
the inspiration.
vibes. Yeah.
Mhm. Except these are outside, and they're thick enough to protect you, and they're also clear. Everything's clear.
Like an aquarium, but for
Guys.
winter.
Yeah. A winter aquarium, a snow globe, an inside-out snow globe.
Oh my gosh, we got there. I love it.
We got there.
That's so fun.
I think Veluth is just gonna awkwardly lean over to Reon and go, Doctor, in case you are presented with a fist in this manner, I do believe it is customary to place your fist against it, as is human custom.
Oh. Ah. That
It is a human gesture which has been called pound or dab.
Oh no.
I believe it's even gone by the euphemism of slapping skins.
Oh dear.
that's fascinating to me.
It has intriguing variations, such as the up high, down low, to which you would then quickly retract your hand and say too slow, to demonstrate that you are faster than your...
I might be more comfortable with that than a fist bump, I think. Fist bump is deeply uncomfortable to me. I think perhaps high five sounds great, though. That
I
feels
will
more...
note that in the future.
When
feels
your
much
hand is
more-
up, Kaz does high five it.
Oh, he goes... That
You got
works.
it. Yeah.
That would be the up high.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I've uncovered trauma. He's being dead serious when he says that, but he says it with total curiosity. He says,
I can't keep it in. I'm sorry.
so... I'm being judgmental.
Well, as we were, everyone.
Yes, we probably shall proceed to our cabin.
I will lead the way. Jason's just gonna look at. I'm assuming we have like pamphlets for this place with a map on it.
You all have one big cabin. That was a combined effort of, I imagine, Veluth and Talon. Talon had made arrangements and then found out that all of you were also coming and wanted to be able to stay in the same place. So yes, some coordination happened between the Vulcans. So now you are all in one big cabin, one of a few on the side of one of the hills in particular. And so you proceed down one of the chutes, maybe I'll start calling them, across from one hill to the next. And you arrive at your cabin. And it's... Actually, I'd like for us all to build this cabin together, what it looks like
Let's build.
inside. Yeah, let's build. All right, when we open the door, Veluth, what's the first thing we
Camp
see?
Perseverance. Let's do it.
There is a nice fireplace and hearth area, like a sitting den. It's got one of those, like the floor is lowered by the fireplace.
Sunken lounge, let's go.
And it's filled with like pillows and like beanbag chairs, just a real comfy area. And of course, it has a ramp. Just had to throw that little detail in there. But that's the first thing that Veluth would see is just an area of supreme comfort with like a fire already kind of going, but it's like a settled fire. So when you open the door, you feel the heat from it, and you smell just that gorgeous smell of wood burning. I'd even say somebody went so far as to put like hickory chips in there, so you get like this really nice mesquite smell. Oh, I'm sad that I'm not there.
I feel like I am there.
Now I want barbecue.
Yeah.
The moment you said mesquite smell, I was like, oh, man. It's good. It's good, Sam.
I've
Imagine...
gotten that association
It's good,
over time,
yeah.
but I have no idea what that like.
Actually, that's actually easier than anything else because mesquite is actually a scent that comes off of wood, which you can actually taste if you get a good like dose of it if you're too close to the fire. And that taste of mesquite is actually one of the flavorings that you can smell when cooking with it. So it's
Like-
yeah.
If you ever had like what are those like really thick chips? Like
Yeah.
the baked chips with the barbecue flavor, it literally smells exactly how that tastes.
with like char almost. Like
A
there's
little
like
bit of char, like it's a little.
I'm just
too-
hearing
because-
carbon.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
very-
fair.
That's what I mean,
exactly.
carbon.
Yes, no, yeah,
Sam's
exactly.
like, could all of y'all just shut up already?
It's like no, it's like savory carbon.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really hungry
Savory
right now.
Carbon
This
is a
kind
band name
of-
that I am writing down right now.
I mean, it's also probably what's for dinner.
It is Savory Carbon.
Savory Carbon. It's what's for dinner.
That's the logo.
Honestly,
That's
the merch ideas just keep coming.
I know.
Someone please write these down.
Southern winter merch.
Look, I hope Paramount is watching because we can't do all the merch because it's their stuff. But that what did we say? Savory Carbon. That's ours.
Can I just real quick sidebar before we jump back into the narrative here? But I just want to point out that I discovered that there's also a USS Qila that appeared in the final episodes of Picard. I'm just saying, someone's watching our shows. Someone's
see
watching
you.
our shows. Just saying. And I don't have a problem with that, but someone's watching our shows.
No, we don't see you, so please say hi in chat.
Yeah, just say hello.
Yeah,
Say hi
tell
in
us
chat.
you're here. Say hi. Make the merch that we're dreaming up here,
Right.
please, because we actually want it. We want to buy
I
it.
would buy Valu's PJ so fast.
I would buy the Two Left Fleet if they called it Two Left Fleet. They need to call it that on the website,
Right?
Two Left Fleet, and have the two different slippers. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Ugh.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, before we go to break, I want to continue. I want everyone to have a chance to contribute to describing this cabin. This is something I really love to do in games. We all build a location together. So we have this beautiful hearth, the sunken lounge, and the pillows everywhere, and the mesquite smoke smell. Sam, can you
Yes.
please describe the next thing you see, the next room, perhaps?
Yes, because it is adjacent to the kitchen and dining area, a enclosed porch with transparent aluminum over the ceiling, so that regardless of weather, one could equally be eating outside and looking at the stars. We happen to be on the side of the slope that isn't getting light pollution from the games. Lucky us. The power of narrative description.
Nice detail there. I love that. So we're we're facing outward from this ring of hills. I love that. Okay. Transparent aluminum porch. Okay. Bonnie, what's another room or detail that you'd like to add?
Off to the side, there is a room filled with consoles and different types of electronics. That's kind of almost like an office area, as if this cabin knew that people from Starfleet and that needed work to get done was going to be staying there. So there's slight workstations for anyone who needs to get some work done, which Qila's like, when she sees it, thinking to herself, I can keep up with my book club.
Uh-huh. And the bedding probably too.
Betting?
The betting as in
the
the
bedding.
bets. Yeah,
I
not
used to,
betting.
like betting as
yeah,
in like
yeah.
a bed. I was like, I mean, I could put a cot in the office if that's what you're suggesting. Make it my headquarters.
This could also be
Oh,
a
yes.
good command central for your
For my
your
side
bets.
betting business.
See it being like built in, not for work, but for like keeping up with the games if you don't want to be outside in the snow. But Qila
Actually,
immediately
yeah.
sees it as
Yeah,
like a workroom.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, there's multiple holographic screens that you can pop up for sure to watch the games.
Lovely.
And yeah, anything else you'd like to watch?
It's also like one of those things where Bonnie did this, not just as Qila, but when Reon said by the profits or whatever, I was like, profits, but I realized he was talking about the actual profits of
By the
I'm
profits.
sure.
T-shirt profits.
I got excited.
FITS.
Yeah,
That's it. Someone write these down. We're gonna do them.
See, the end.
Okay, Kaitlin.
I just see this as it's like a one level kind of a thing, but it's got the tall ceilings. And when there are windows, so this main area has this like sunken lounge that's like warmly lit and kind of cozy. And when you pass through around that kind of area where the a transparent aluminum like outside area is. It kind of comes into like a kitchen that has the island, but there's like floor to ceiling windows so you can see out over the snow. And the landscape that we have this incredible view of now, because we don't face the life lizard, but it's got this like kind of large kitchen that is still kind of in this maybe more like rustic almost feeling that continues into this area with a lot of light and a lot of this just kind of, I don't know, the clean feeling of like bright snow, light bouncing off like bright snow.
Beautiful. Yeah, that also makes me realize this place inside is probably very naturally well lit because of all the ice and snow outside.
All the windows probably have, in Star Trek time, would probably have like auto dimmers. Like you can,
Absolutely.
snow time is, you gotta wear sunglasses constantly, even if
Yeah.
the sun isn't out, because the sunlight is coming from above you, below you, like every single direction. You get
It
sunburned.
could be like an
no matter.
electrophoretic style coating, like as the brightness increases, it pings a sensor, which then can intensify the electric current and dim the window.
Like what are they called? The glasses that change.
Are they blue blockers or no? Is
No,
that
no. I
something
mean,
else?
literally, like the ones that like people like. I remember kids having
just-
them all the time. Like when you walk out in the sun, they get
Oh,
dark.
yeah,
What's it
the-
called?
Oh, yeah.
Eric,
Do you have those? You pointed to yours.
These
Transitions?
are blue blocker readers.
Transitions.
So,
That
yeah.
too.
Oh,
I
oh,
meant like
okay.
I meant
These don't-
transition
these don't
lenses
change
from
color.
like.
Got it. Okay. Transition
That's just when I
lenses,
wear
yeah.
glasses. Anyway.
This is true. Yeah, as is your right.
All right,
That's what I got.
and
Windows.
and Eric.
Yeah, so the back area near the bathroom is a Class 7 warp core capable of 1,500 Cochrane units in output, and towards the front is 4 phaser cannons and 3 phaser emitters, with 4 forward quantum torpedo launchers and 2 photon torpedo aft launchers.
It's battle ready.
Yeah, just in case we get attacked by other cabins, because
We'll
that
win.
can happen on Mars apparently. But in truth, I think what I'm gonna say is, I think there would be a greenhouse that kind of is built into the sort of the area around the. In fact, I would just add that to the transparent aluminum, like that whole like outdoor area where it's actually exposed to sunlight, because there's already so much light that's being brought in and enhanced. I mean, Earth's sun's a little bit weaker here on Mars, a little bit of yellow dot in the sky, but I think with proper tech, you could, using a lot of the terraforming technology, there's probably a lot of flora that is not necessarily native to the Sol system that is growing
With
here
the snow,
inside.
genuinely, you are getting all of the light is coming back.
Yeah, I think it,
all the light you get, like the
because
snow
you described
reflecting it.
you described a lot of like solar energy is being refracted and enhanced in
It's-
here.
yeah,
I
it
think
would
that
absolutely-
would be
yeah.
a perfect greenhouse to actually kind of create a little arboreal paradise back here where you can look out and see everything. So, and I also think that would also be, I mean, it's a cabin for recreation. So I'm also thinking that's where you're going to find like the sauna or anything else, like a high, like any kind of regenerated relaxation chamber, as it were. That's where that's going to be located, and that's where Reon is standing right now, just looking at it, going, I don't think I've ever used one of those before. I mean, the inside is probably going to feel familiar to me, as they do like to keep them roughly the same temperature as the inside of a cube.
What about the humidity?
Humidity was never a problem on board of a cube. It wasn't an actual lot of body heat. Most of the... Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I'd have to check it out.
Actually, I didn't mind the answer to either.
He's going to
Do
step
they have
inside.
as many plants?
Inside a cube? No.
Shame.
Not that I remember.
Losing out on biological distinctiveness, I think, look at this Andorian lily. They actually prefer the winter to the summer.
I didn't realize there were any Andorian plant life on Mars. That's quite the upkeep.
You know, there's a mailing list. There are a handful of us who are interested in various plants, and plenty of us aren't from Earth. I know the lady who does a lot of groundskeeping around here, and she's homesick.
I think Kaz is kind of noodling this way and hearing the tail end of this conversation. He goes, I heard they kept a seed vault on Mars. they've got like one on each pole on Earth, but I think that was one of their like things here is you get them from all over. They just kind of keep packets of stuff, so it's kind of cool that they're growing them too. Kind of, like,
You're just in
pokes
time,
around.
Cass. You're just in time.
For
We have
seagulls?
found a completely autonomous enclosed area that seems to have biological life invading it. And he motions to the greenhouse so that you can now make friends with said, this is my attempt at a joke.
I see.
Yes.
Well, I'll try my best to make friends with them. I'm lost.
I believe the joke the doctor is referring to is in reference to your encounter with the entity known as Entitina.
Oh no.
My follow-up was going to be, please don't wake me up this time, Commander. But
I see.
Qila pops in the room. That was my fault. Sorry.
I'm just
alright.
tickling a vine, and it starts like just to rap a bit.
if
Like
it's
the
any
pullback.
worth mentioning, I wasn't actually asleep. Like, I'm not quite capable of that just yet. Is that vine moving?
And from behind Kaz's back, there was just... It was. A little.
I'm going to continue reading this rule book. It's just gonna plop right next to the fireplace.
Okay.
Yeah, and also in front of the fireplace. Actually, I would say Talon has just replicated she replicated 2 cups of hot cocoa, passes one to Adenkar, and looks around for someone else to take the next one. Would anyone else like some hot chocolate?
Is
I
it
would-
like a dessert?
Oh yes, it's a liquid, hot liquid. Are you familiar with chocolate, cocoa beans?
Yes. Yeah.
My mother has a deep love for chocolate.
Ooh. I've had it a couple times. They had it a lot.
Yes.
Like, I guess it was kind of a staple at the academy. The hot,
It is
hot, but a drink.
Yes, liquid.
That's cool. Or hot.
And she hands it to you. She says chocolate has very good antioxidants, magnesium, fiber, and also is a mood improver of moods. Would anyone else like some hot chocolate?
You see
I
Qila
would-
slowly raising her hand after all those facts.
I would enjoy a cup.
It sounds perfect.
2 more hot chocolates. Reon, do you need anything?
No, thank you, Mother. I have my nutrient paste that I brought with me. I should be fine.
Would you like me to heat it up?
Oh, no, thank you. I can arrange that.
All right. And she goes back to the replicator to make the hot cocos. Meanwhile, Adenkar is sitting near Veluth on one of the lovely cushiony couches and has activated the holographic display. So the holographic display, the way you would imagine a flat screen is above a fireplace in a fancy cabin, except it's a holographic display above the fireplace. And he's kind of scrolling through channels, and it's all like mostly the channels are coverage of the Southern Winter Games. And he pauses on one briefly before flipping to the next one. But on that pause, you hear, and coming up tonight are the, sorry, let me start that over. Coming up tomorrow morning, we have the individual cloud surfing competition and a surprisingly phenomenal up-and-comer 85-year-old earthling Carmen Nieves has shot through the ranks as a newcomer in this sport. We are just flabbergasted, and we are excited to extend this coverage and show you how she achieves in the finals tomorrow morning. Flip, 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 flip.
See, now they let you do it. Probably loud enough for the greenhouse crew to hear.
Greenhouse crew. Remembering that one, too.
They grow on you. Okay, bye.
Yeah, thank you. I was about to say.
It's okay.
That just
Every
cost
once
you
in
your
a while-
command.
Every once in a while, a pun goes wrong.
But that is not one of those times. Like in a little video game affinity, Sam liked that.
At least I didn't turn into an eggplant this
I did it
time.
for you.
I love that you are a glass half full right now,
Thought it was a
Bonnie, and I
potato.
appreciate you for that.
You're welcome.
Wasn't it potato?
It
or
was
no?
not a potato. It
was
was
an
definitely
eggplant.
an eggplant.
Oh, it was an eggplant.
Potato.
Aubergine.
Well,
I think
Okay.
just to the captain, Luther's gonna say that individual actually took a tour of our station not too long ago. Quite lively. I'm not surprised to hear that they are a up-and-comer.
That is very interesting. Well, I imagine you all would want to see that event tomorrow morning. Perhaps we should plan to see it after breakfast.
I'd love to.
Of course, yes.
Making notes of like going back to go place some more bets later. And it's not even that Qila's doing the bets. Qila's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Facilitating.
You're running them.
Oh yeah. I'm
You're a
running-
numbers runner, like in 1920s Harlem.
Yeah, like in the Guys and Dolls, like
Yeah.
I got your tickets here.
Amazing.
I got your
Well-
horse right here.
With that, we shall take our break, and when we come back, more adventures at the Southern Winter Games on Mars. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back.
They say at level 20 you become a god, but I'm gonna do it by 17.
Oh, sad little DM can't remember her stupid NPC names.
No more inter-party romance.
I don't know what that means. Can I get a slice of that?
I can't hear you.
Just one slice.
Yeah, I'm actually done.
I see a whole pizza right there.
Viola, what do you do?
I don't even complain when you leave your Legos everywhere for me to step on.
Avatar: The Last Airbender isn't an anime.
So you're a sex worker?
I'm an actor.
Why didn't you say you were low on HP? I hope you freeze to death waiting in line for Hall H.
What can I say? It's got drama. It's got intrigue.
Go!
It's got pathos. How could I refuse?
That's what you take from this? I'm sorry.
What the fuck is an owlbear?
My son, the Terran Emperor, has merged with an entity of great power. As a Terran, conquest is a way of life, but he has gone too far. Now, we must join forces with enemies, or face obliteration. I want to bring him back from this, but I'll do what I must to stop him. No matter the cost.
Menzo Baranzan is a prison. I am fortunate to have escaped. It is my hope that someday this place can be cast open, its citizens freed from their captor.
Lorth is a demoness, a destroyer, a plague upon the world, with her loyalist scum following her ways of chaos and ruin into the depths of the abyss itself.
I think the blaspheme are righteous in their cause, and the loyalists are not. If war comes, I will be on the right side of it.
Some fear war will soon envelop Menzo Baranzan. For me, the war has already begun. Welcome, soldier, to the cause of the blaspheme.
This is Defender. We could use more armored units at City Hall, and we have wounded here.
Red Snake, you have incoming contact. Witchcraft, Ironclad, Black Mask. What's your situation?
The undead are numerous and running amok. We're falling back to Force Station Steelhead.
Go forth, my children, and feed upon the living.
I'm just finishing up my patrol now. What the? I was wrong. Things are starting to heat up.
The battle rages onward. Victory will be ours.
Calling all champions. This is a global distress call. Report to the nearest crisis zone and engage the enemy.
Metahumans ejected. Changing targeting lock.
Hello and welcome back to episode 8 of Clear Skies Perseverance. Before we dive back into the narrative, we have some scientific and specifically Martian scientific things we want to share. I am to prompt Sam because we were talking about this off stream, and Sam and Kaitlin were asking amazing questions. And for all the research I did on Mars, I did not look up how long or short the days and nights are during certain certain of their
that's a crazy
seasons.
question that I asked, and then
No,
wanted
it's not. It's really not. I researched literally so much, and there's so much to learn about Mars. So here we go. What did we find out on the internet?
Well, the thing is, it's also extremely reasonable of you not to have found the difference between day and night, because most information about the Mars Sol, which is a solar day on Mars, is about the average day, because as you showed us in the interstitial break, there is a tremendous eccentricity to Mars's orbit, and in fact to the Utopia Planitia crew as well. But after a little bit of digging, only a break length of digging, I did what I can. We'll see what details we can get in future. There certainly is a disparity seasonally in day lengths on Mars, such that it is built into the hibernation systems of solar-powered rovers like last week's Zhurong, who is at this very moment on Mars having a nap. There have been some concerns about Zhurong because it's very possible that its little solar panels got covered in dust, because that sure does hang around Mars, preventing it from waking up from its winter hibernation. But I have not given up on Zhurong, and neither should you.
Zhurong is...
Yes.
Look, that's self-care is important.
Naps.
And it doesn't stop.
Rest.
It does not stop at Earth. Just because you're on another planet.
Yes, if you're a drone on another planet, take care of yourself.
You better take your naps. I follow someone whose Twitter and maybe on Instagram too is called Nap Ministry, and they are all about radical rest and naps and taking care of ourselves. And the important thing to remember is that we don't deserve rest because we work. We deserve rest because we exist. You don't have to earn rest.
I love that.
I love it too.
I'm gonna go
Seriously.
take a nap. I'm just kidding.
Bonnie, baby girl, we love you. If
But
you need to go
actually,
take
though-
a nap,
No,
you
I'm
turn off
good.
that camera and you turn off your computer, go take a nap because we love you.
The eyes of judgment.
If you need it. If you need it. Always. But
Go to
yeah,
Nap
seriously.
Bay.
Go to nap.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to nap bay. Oh my gosh.
so real
Can
quick-
we add that to the cabin and nap room?
Nap
That's
rooms.
just a bedroom. There's probably many like plush seating areas in
Yeah,
these
like a
cute
meditation.
little areas.
And also, I was thinking you'd have plenty of bedrooms and things to sleep in. Eric, you were going to say something.
It's just above board in discussion with some of the things I've been talking to you about that Reon's been working on with, because no matter where he is, he's been set to a task. Reon does not at any point stop thinking about the Ross project. And when everyone's starting to bed down and go to sleep, he is going to pace around the Arboretum, just, under the stars, with a tricorder in his hand and a data pad marking down notes. So he's getting more and more excited about this regenerative power systems. But here's the thing. In the Star Trek Adventures core rulebook, the improved power systems trait, which we've had before, allows you, if you succeed at a power management task for a starship, when you're trying to get more power to the shields, Captain, when you're trying to do any of that, you need to make the check at a difficulty of 2. If you succeed, you gain 1 point of power plus per success, blah, blah, blah. Improved power systems lets you have an additional 2 power per points of momentum spent. So my idea needs to be reworked to make it more unique, because right now improved power systems kind of already does what I was thinking about doing. And maybe this is something I should talk to you about, Sam, outside of game, of how we can improve
I
that
actually
trait.
have lovely news about that diegetically, because guess
What?
who decided they wanted to bed down in the Arboretum?
Okay.
I
So
would love
as
to
you're
have
taking
that
notes,
scene, please.
eventually a blanket is going to start moving, and little curly salt and pepper will start to poke out.
Oh my god, how cute.
He's in the middle of talking to himself, and he'll just be like, "You got rid of the entire. There's literally 3 decks that are not being used. If it is not in a diplomatic chassis.
Yes, but there's personnel on those decks, and the waste heat is going to change.
Doesn't have to be, though. He immediately turns and looks at you and he says, you could absolutely fill the entire 3 decks and use that as a supplementary power conduit to compensate for how unstable the power systems are on the USS Ross class. In other words, the plasma conduits, which are traditionally unreliable with that much antimatter power being fed through those plasma conduits, if you dedicated 3 decks to regulating, essentially giving it a an artery, as opposed to just thousands and thousands of veins, you might be able to more efficiently distribute that power, reduce risk to the crew, and sustain a more regenerative power supply. The only problem is that's already done with ships that don't have 2 warp cores. How can I optimize it?
I'm telling you, you keep solving a software problem with a hardware solution. You don't need an artery, you need an autonomic nervous system.
Yes, exactly. Something closer to what we'd use with the bionetic gel, the gel packs. I think if we were allowed to convert those 3 decks purely into some kind of power redistribution system, we could make the Ross class the most efficiently powered starship in the fleet.
Do you actually have to convert the decks, or can you run it through the bulkheads? Let them keep it as a diplomatic thing. Why? What time is... I look up to the stars to try to determine what the time is. I don't know Mars stars from here. What time is it?
It's 0300 hours.
Oh, all right. There we go then.
I think could, I mean, you... I don't... Well, the Ross class does have a circular... No, I think you'd need to use 3 decks. Well, you could at least... No. Maybe there's a middle ground here. 2 decks.
There's a poetry, 2 decks, 2 cores.
Don't need 3.
3's right out.
2 decks, then. 2 decks. And a hell of a light show.
Dr. Rylem, do you mind if I ask?
Hmm?
What got you into warp cores? What's it about them? I mean, I understand they hum, and that's very lovely. But it is 0300. And I've had no shortage of things that have kept me up to 0300. What is it about warp cores?
I was assimilated when I was 5 years old. I was liberated from the collective when I was 7. Or was it 12? 12. It was theoretically. No. Stardate. Yes. 12.
Theoretically 12.
I hate that the Borg robbed me of my love for space. They made it scary for me. Forever. But my designation was 8 of 10 tertiary adjunctive trimatrix 32. And I worked primarily as a drone in small spaces because I was small. I worked on the transwarp conduit power supplies in the trimatrix. I had that knowledge with me when I was liberated from the collective. It's one of the reasons why some of my work is somewhat controversial. There's a lot of people in the Zephyr Cochrane Institute of Advanced Theoretical Physics that believe that though I have achieved some levels of accomplishment, it's stolen knowledge, and they're not wrong. I don't know.
They're academics. They'll look for any excuse to hate on
100
anyone whose theories aren't the
Yes.
same as their own.
I can tell you had some experience in the world of academia. That is 100% correct. Small minds, surrounded by small, petulant, angry, jealous minds.
Oh, don't hold back.
I like warp cores because even though I can't adventure out into space, I can build the most powerful engines that will send others to see the things that I wish I could see and fly to the farthest reaches and do it quickly, safely. And we can use what I learned to do that. When I was a boy at the Lark Sage Orphanage on Bejor, I used to skip rocks across the pond. And one of the things that I began to realize is that I wanted to build engines the way I could skip a rock across the pond. I'm kind of obsessed with them now. So that's what it is. It's one of the things that keeps me I get to still be friends with space.
Would you ever want to go out there?
I don't know. It's been a while. It's possible. Maybe things have improved. But I've become so obsessed with what I do. It's enjoyable. And I haven't thought about it. Maybe. I don't. Maybe I'd be surprised. Maybe it wouldn't bother me at all.
I've certainly found that if one doesn't have the taste for a thing, but one wants to want it, it's good to try every so often. See if it's for you. And either result is acceptable.
Why did you want to become a bioengineer? Is this something that you were compelled to do? Was it something that you achieved before your joining or after?
I am considered as overly focused as a joined Trill as you might be as a warp researcher. We typically, joined Trill, have those diversity of experiences, but you know the way that a problem just seizes you, and you want to follow it all the way to its end, and by the time you're at the end, there are 3 new questions, and there are 6 new solutions that you want to at least test, and those things can't be accomplished in one lifetime. It takes many, and I'm making progress. But I wanted to join to a symbiont who wanted to study it. It was a good pairing, turns out.
I could be out of line here, but part of me has always looked at the Trill as a people who have managed to find a consensual and exhilarating assimilation into which very things that the Borg conquer to achieve, the Trill have managed to harmonize and find. It's interesting because most of the technology and knowledge that I have is nothing I learned at the academy, we'll just say. But I always liked the idea. Trill joining. I always found that fascinating.
Well, the chlorophyll is always more saturated. There's plenty of cultural baggage putting pointless restrictions on all sorts of things. But no, that bit, the consent, that bit we get right. I'll give us that.
The ratio of joined Trill are quite low, isn't it?
It's a thing.
Do you think it's possible that, well, I suppose more than possible, but out of curiosity, and please correct me if I'm out of line,
Hardly.
but is it possible that you and Lieutenant Kaz knew each other in a previous life? Is that something you and your symbiont would have knowledge of?
Most of us would recognize immediately by surname, in the same way that you might see someone from your chemistry class in the halls of the academy and recognize them, or see the name on an examination sheet and recognize them by that. The faces change, but
I understand.
for most of us, barring other circumstances, but you were quite right to disparage academics. They're small-minded and, well,
XB.
This name suits me better.
I see. I understand what you were saying, though. XB have an alarming ability to know each other's designations, even if we've never met before. It's much like, how do you say, species memory? Like a organic life through thousands and thousands of years of evolution are born with instincts, knowledge of things. Spiders, for example, know how to weave webs. On Earth, sharks know how to grow still when a predator is approaching, before they've even hatched out of their eggs. XB seem to have much the same sort of cultural instinct that's bred into our genetic codes through the assimilation process. We simply just know everyone's designation. It's, again, sounds somewhat, at least, kind of similar. It doesn't require introductions.
Is it... You've been very thoughtful to ask if you are out of line, but I've been asking you about Borg cube humidity. I hope this isn't too...
No. I'm fortunate in that my experience with the collective was long enough ago that I have been able to adapt. I've lots of rehabilitation, of course, but as a fully grown adult, this is definitely a part of me and whatnot. But you will note that I'm a little more lighthearted about it than other XB. I've found having a sense of humor can help. So
Help you or help the people around you be all right with you?
There's nothing I can do for the people around me.
That's quite right.
So, I am prone to oversharing and also being a little blunt and honest.
I'm curious about pretty much everything.
I will not. I'll be more mindful in navigating the previous question that I just asked in the future.
I trust your discretion. But if I'm perfectly honest, I should like to try to figure out the software architecture of an autonomic nervous system, Doctor.
Well,
I'm going to pull out a pad and start sketching diagrams.
It might be worth. Interesting. This is probably not something that would be smiled upon by. And he glances over in the other room to where the commander is sleeping and just says, Doctor, it might be worth examining. This could get me in so much trouble if we're even suggesting. But at the very least, it might be worth examining my medical record. The reason why is because the more and more you and I have spoken about how to properly distribute the electroplasmatic power that is coursing through the Ross class and causing problems, we've constantly referred back to a circulatory system of energy being fed throughout the ship. That is not an inaccurate way of describing how power is being fed through the conduits. In many ways, following the same philosophies is what's helped the bioneural gel packs come into existence because of its ability to function on a much faster pace than... The point that I'm trying to get to is, in my body, I have 3 different cortical arrays and a cardiopulmonary strengthener. I'm wondering if there's something that could inspire a similar sort of efficiency of redistribution of power for the same principles that the Borg used in order to enhance biological stability. For example, I am highly resistant to toxic gases and liquids because of my implants.
If not toxic academics, yes.
Well, an unfortunate side effect for the Borg implants, I am also completely immune to pain and fear, which has led to an enormous amount of constant difficulties in life. Suffice to say, though, whereas I'm capable of experiencing minor forms of anxiety, my traumas and whatnot, I'm getting off subject. Point is,
That was my fault.
the implants that I have could, in principle, inspire a synergetic idea of how to essentially give the Ross class something much more of a efficient vascular system.
Perhaps we could split the difference between the Borg and the Trill.
Interesting.
And with that, this conversation continues to lead into the early hours of the morning as the sun starts to rise in the southern hemisphere. And one more thing before we close out this beautiful scene, by the way. Ty, as you are having this conversation and trying to think of, collaborate with Reon on these types of systems and how they can be built, you remember the dream you were having when you were sleeping before you woke up, soaring through the clouds of Venus, those thick, thick clouds. How did that feel, reliving those moments in your dream?
That desire to get to be even more in the moment than one is, being outside to even be aware of it is too much, because the bliss of flight then through that self-awareness becomes paired with the bittersweet knowledge that it won't last, that as the dream becomes lucid and it starts to disintegrate from under me, the last feeling is that glorious flush of rebellion and flight.
And with that, we'll close out that scene. Okay. Check. Okay. Eric, Sam.
I mean, Sam's
That
calling
was
me a nerd
beautiful.
in chat, but otherwise I'm good.
Oh, as I say, I do apologize. Reon, you nerd.
Sorry, Reon.
I mean, Reon.
Eternal regrets. I would never, Eric.
Sorry.
Reon,
Oh, God.
Now let's get back to the tabletop role-playing game.
Right.
Shall we?
We're back in character now.
The bullying must pause, at least. Okay, so the next morning, you all wake up whenever you wake up. I'll let you decide. But when you get into the kitchen area, Adenkar... Oh, well, actually, a couple things. No, I'll skip that. Adenkar and Talan have made a beautiful breakfast spread of all different types. You all know how I am with food, or maybe you don't know how I am with foods in my TTRPGs. I always have to describe foods and clothes. It's important details. So I would let you all, as you're, having your breakfast, you can decide what you're eating. You can tell us if you like. But the one detail I do want to mention for Reon is that when you enter, you recognize a beautiful thing that you forgot that you hadn't had someone do for you in a long time, which is your parents, as they always did when you were growing up, especially in the years after you were placed with them after your initial recovery period. They would take a plate, a large plate, and take all of your nutrition, your nutrient packets, and arrange them in a circle for you. And so you see that plate at the end of the breakfast counter for the first time in years.
He doesn't have the typical reaction of like, I'm an adult now. He reacts to it like he just is drawn to it and says nothing as he just goes over and quietly begins to enjoy it.
And Talan silently watches you enjoying it from across the breakfast table. And actually, I would love for us to skip forward in time after breakfast. So, after breakfast, you all have reservations in the viewing deck for the individual cloud surfing competition, 10 a.m. You all head out of your cabin through the chute, through the series of chutes and hills to get to the big mountain viewing spot. You take a lift from that cabin up to the top, and you're in this viewing deck that's like built out of the side of a hill. It's incredible. So on the ceiling, the two sides and the front are all exposed, well, not exposed, but transparent aluminum viewing deck. It's an incredible, mind-blowing view. A lot of it is all white, again, because it's southern winter, and the clouds and everything everywhere is white. Again, Veevee, you need to get in here and see this, girl. But off to your right, the biggest thing taking up like the right half of your view is the mountain, and up above you can see a faint glimpse of cloud surfers kind of dipping in and out of the clouds. But the real view is in those holographic monitors in the corners, because they have cameras up there that are getting shots that you cannot see with the naked eye. Ty, I imagine this is also evoking some feelings for you, and perhaps some memories.
Who am I burdening with my back in my days? Oh, I know. Commander, back in my day, this wasn't an authorized sport. This was a space crime, and look, there are stadiums now. People see it on screens. People do it on Mars.
I am aware there was a passage about the history of this sport in this book.
Really? Over the shoulder?
When they introduce the game, they start with giving a summary of the creation of it and the basic formation of the rules and how they became official rules once this became a sanctioned sport.
Let's see these rules. Oh, you can't take a sharper than 90 turn into the... Oh, wow, they care about safety now, my goodness. I really should have been following up this whole time.
Despite the changes to the original iteration of the sport that you long for, I can still attest that this is a rather dangerous sport.
Always was, but it was more fun when the danger was from the authorities. Aliza, I look over the book. It's vanity. I'm sure it's vanity. Am I in the book?
Oh, that's gotta be a roll.
In the book. I have
book.
to answer that question. I need to consult with Noir/Veluth. So, when was this book written?
This is the official rule book of this sport that he has. And I'm basing this off of my sibling used to play basketball, and in their handbook was like the history of basketball.
Nice, beautiful.
So, if it's up to a vote, I certainly think that one of the early pioneers of this very dangerous sport should be mentioned.
There is a passage, a short passage in the beginning of the book about the history that talks about ancient cloud surfers, the real originators of these sports. Unnamed, unfortunately.
Oof.
But they are credited as having founded the sport and being the first pioneers in it.
Can I use one of our momentum to suggest a thing?
Maybe.
Can there
What is
just
it?
be a picture of unidentified original
Actually, yes.
participants
I'm gonna,
of the sport?
because we're kind of, I feel like Noir and I are like cooking on a similar thing.
We doing it, yeah.
So.
Sorry, that was
me. I didn't think of it like that, but yeah.
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
You're wonderful. You're all wonderful, and I adore you all. Just a quick love pause. So yes, there is actually. Okay, here we go. See, this is when minds converge. Okay, that big idea I had during break. Here we go. Things come together in fun ways in TTRPGs. Veluth and Ty, you see in this book, yes, there is there's a blurry picture of what looks like a person upright on a triangular small platform in the Venusian clouds. And it's cited to have been taken on Earth circa 2023. And in this passage, it says the person who identified this was an ancient Earth. Yeah, about 2023, ancient Earth picture that was taken by their satellites and their monitoring systems. At the time, in 2023, someone named Rafaela Nieves, who worked at the Arecibo Observatory on Earth,
R.I.P.
saw this. And the story goes that at the prompting of her small daughter, Carmen, began to look at it differently, brought it to her supervisor, but was told, oh, it's nothing. It's just an aberration. But now, with the technology we have, they believe it was an ancient Venusian cloud surfer.
Gnarly.
This is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's my fault. It's my credit and it's my fault. And they didn't know. They were so mad because back then the humans were pre-warp, and so it was a violation of regulation. I'm sure you know all of the regulations that I was violating, but the point is that the atmosphere in Venus is spectacular. And do you think this is that Nieves?
I cannot be certain, so I would not hazard a guess.
I knew the humans didn't catch me back then. Data
If this
analysis.
was you, that was extremely reckless course of action, which, quite frankly, would have been a violation of the Prime Directive.
That was what they said.
They were correct.
They didn't catch me at the time. It says so. Right there. I point to right where it says so. Right there. They were constantly forget. They had no telescopes pointed there at all. No probes. It was fine. And awesome.
Well,
Talon.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Talon leans over and looks at the book and says, clearly they did have telescopes.
Some telescopes.
You were fortunate in their inability to decipher exactly what it is that we're looking at. That said, you can't be persecuted for a crime that has long since passed its statute of limitations, so all is well that ends well. Might I be so bold as to ask what lifetime it was that you were violating the Prime Directive in pursuit of exhilarating sports?
How far away is Cass?
Cass?
Cass is probably looking out the window, even though, like, we have the monitors. Like, she's looking out the window, like, trying to, like, walk, because I think she's more interested in, like, that type of thing. So if there's anyone nearby, there's, like, you look over and you, like, can maybe hear Cass being like, I did, like, one time, someone taught me how to, like, stand on the cloud surf thing. I've never been, but, like, that's really impressive. I can't imagine. I can't imagine doing that. I could barely do it on the ground. And, like, just, like, that's the conversation that's happening with, like, Qila next to the window. not paying attention. Just off to the side.
Qila on Mars.
So tempted to.
Yeah, do it. I don't know what you're doing, but it probably has
tempted.
something to do with threat.
I mean,
I'm spending threat. Whatever you say, Kaios is going to hear it.
Oh, I love this for me.
Shaka when the walls fell.
And
What do you say, Ty?
You know what? So self-righteous are they about this in this moment. And they're in the book. They're like, it was back when I was Dineshi Madairo.
See.
Cass?
But they never... Look! They don't even identify me here. Miscarriage of justice, I say. I mean... and I'm a whole new person now. Statute of... someone else.
Of course.
And then I noticed how quiet it got.
Yeah, you notice how quiet it got, and you look over at Kaz. Kaz, what does Ty see when they look at you?
Where a second ago, looking over your shoulder, the very animated, like, enthused, it is like there is a stillness to Tovaa Kaz that you have never seen before. And she hasn't turned around or anything, and you can maybe see like 3/4 from behind, like a slight frown. Not reacting in other way other than like being frozen, essentially, just kind of looking out into the clouds. And that's what you see.
And Qila, you're standing with Kaz. I'm gonna say you probably noticed this change.
Just should stop mid-sentence for sure.
Ensign Qila?
I plead the fifth. I heard nothing. My ears are. What?
Okay.
I heard everything.
I think in this moment,
got it.
Valuth is just going to say, I can't help but notice that there's been a change in the room.
Yes, because of the excitement of the games. I can tell this stillness is the beginning of the hoorah of the cheer that they do. But she's trying.
Tovaa turns around and walks towards the lift. And walks out of the room. And walks towards the lift and heads back down.
While I am uncertain of the cause of the awkwardness, I do believe that I can easily rule out that it is not attributed to the sporting event.
Commander, have I ever told you, and I'm going to pull Valuth aside, just away from Ty and just anything, like, have I ever told you about the time that I once tried to command a ship that was crash landing on a moon outside of the Beta Quadrant? And I'm just going to make up a tall tale while just trying to get the commander.
I'm gonna run after Kaz now.
From
Okay.
Ty.
So I know several untruths in this story.
Ty, you run after Kaz. Kaz has already caught the lift down, but you catch the next one down. So downstairs is kind of a lodge, kind of how you would think a ski lodge would be. That's the lower cabin that you came through to get to the viewing deck. That's where you find yourself, Kaz. And in just a few moments, Ty also steps off of the lift. There are just a few other people roaming around. Some people are actually queuing up for the lift as well.
I think she just, like, the lift opened. And she, like, you know that, like, stomach drop feeling, but not, like, the equivalent of, like hands numb, like, vibrating, I can't deal with this. I don't know how to deal with the information I've just been presented with, but with the added layers of about a dozen lifetimes. The doors open, and there's, like, a second where she just kind of doesn't move. And then, like, as they start to close again, that, like, snaps her out of it. She steps out, and I think she's just walking. Like, she's just walking in a straight line. So there's that moment that, like, the like, slowness of her to react. When you get out of the lift, she's probably just across the room. Like, she's just kind of, like, heading towards the doors. It doesn't seem like there's a direction she's headed. She's just moving.
See,
I'm going to just gently say, before we launch into this, you head towards the tubes. So by the time Ty catches up, you're in the middle of one of the clear tubes.
Yeah, when you say that, she stops. And without turning around, says, I knew I recognized that. You said it in salvage. I didn't know why.
I was gonna tell you, but...
Were you? She turns fully around. Were you? Ever?
Well, it was complicated, and I thought if I didn't, then it would only be complicated for me.
Because that makes sense.
None of this... Well, yeah, now you have to know, too. Now we both know. And we're both here, and...
We both know. We're both here.
Hi. It's been 100.
Yeah. She, like, turns around and, like, takes a few steps in the direction she was heading before, and then turns around again, back towards you, and just... I've been walking with this feeling that I was missing something this entire time. I've been so confused. I thought that there was something wrong with the joint. I thought that I was recognizing things that weren't there.
I'm sorry.
I felt like I've been losing my mind.
I really, if I thought that you had known, but you were just acting like... Tovaa? And I don't know you. And then sometimes you were... You.
Kaz doesn't know a Ty. Doesn't know a Tairo. How would I have put that together? I'm so new to this. How would I have known?
That's why I thought I could protect... Sorry.
I think you can, like, see her, like, physically shaking as she, like, tries to wrap her head around this.
And Ty is at that point where, like, when the blood drains from a Trill's face, it's from the spots first. So the spots are just colorful, just white on an already pale, sick Ty.
I don't know what to do with this, Tairo.
I haven't known what to do with it since you got to the station.
I could have carried it with you. We could have talked about it.
Okay, well now we are talking about it in a tube in the Southern Winter Games on Mars in the human star system.
Yeah. And you've known the whole time. And I need a minute. I need a minute with that. And she kind of takes a step backwards.
You love this job.
Say again?
You love this job, and if they split us out because I don't know you that well, but you love this job.
That's what you're worried about.
What else am I supposed...
I need a minute. I need a minute. And she takes another couple steps backwards and turns around and keeps walking.
Ty, you are left standing in the middle of this tube. There have been some fellow spectators of the games passing you by, but for now the tube is empty and you're just left surrounded by this white landscape all around you.
It's been so long since my wife was mad at me like this.
And with that, we'll leave that beautiful scene. Checking in. Okay? Okay.
So then we were this close to the moon, and
We, the
sorry.
audience, are not okay. Like,
I was just cutting right back to the story.
yeah, no, please.
Beautiful.
Please save us.
Yeah,
It's
back
been
up in the
going-
observation
It's been going on
mode.
for an
Yep.
hour
Yeah.
of me, and then I look around and realize that Ty had left, and you know what? We can finish this story another time.
Are you
Not
certain?
important.
There seem to be many inconsistencies that still have yet to resolve themselves in your story.
Consistencies, tomato, you know, it was a long time ago when that happened. So, you know, some of the details get you know, it might even, you know what? I'm pretty sure it happened on the holodeck. But this is crazy. Probably just some.
I'll have to have engineering take a look at our holodeck to ensure.
How about
that
them
it is
Yankees? Because that's one of the teams that's playing.
Now, the cloud surfing.
What got me?
Bonnie,
that-
Bonnie,
yeah.
I've been gaming with you for what, 6 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never. It will never get old.
Oh.
Ever, ever, ever.
Unlike the Yankees.
Now, the cloud surfing competition has started during all of these events. And there are several different competitors in these finals, but your ears perk up wherever you are whether you're downstairs or upstairs, your ears perk up when you hear, and next we have the competitor we've all been waiting for. Over the announcement, you hear this. Carmen Nieves from Earth. We are so excited, and she is queuing up, about to launch off of the mountain, getting pulled into the atmosphere by the shuttle, and when she releases, that's when the competition starts. Now, as you all know, we judge these cloud surfing finals by a panel of judges after the event, after everyone has gone, reviewing footage and measuring those sick waves that they're hitting, those sick cloud waves. So we won't know the results until later, but we can all just sit back and enjoy this performance. And here she goes! And you hear and see Carmen being lifted off. Think about this as, okay, breaking the world for just a second. I watch a lot of big wave surfing on YouTube. Don't know why. I love it. It's amazing. This is what I'm envisioning if you've ever watched that, just to give you a frame of reference. So back into the game. You see a shuttle with a long cord pulling, like a water skiing person, pulling Carmen Nieves, holding onto that rope at the end. And she has a small little surfboard that is triangular on both ends for maximum aerodynamics, and it has a fin on the bottom. And she's being pulled into the atmosphere. She is in a full EV suit, these big old goggles, but she looks really dope. She has a Puerto Rican flag on the back of her EV suit because Puerto Ricans put the flag on everything, baby. And she's being pulled into the atmosphere. She releases and she does several flips in the air and then finds an air current and just surfs it so smooth. Just expertise. She makes a big whip around and catches another air current and goes directly up, does a loop-de-loo, comes back down, catches another air wave, and the announcer says, and she's on her third air current. This is just incredible. It is so hard to have this much control and finesse in these clouds. This is such a turbulent atmosphere. Oh, there she goes for her fifth whirling up. Oh, look at that technique. Oh, Bob, I mean, I just look at that. And here she goes on the seventh, and she has not come down. Sometimes this happens, folks. This is called a wipeout. She probably will just catch it. What's that? Okay, folks. Well, we're standing by because Carmen Nieves may have gotten stuck in Atmo. Oh yeah, we're not going to show that, but all right, folks. We're going to actually take a break now, and when we come back, we will have more finalists of the cloud surfing competition. Stay tuned, and the monitors shut off.
Okay.
Immediately, Qila goes to the consoles and is using her like security access to find out, to like hack into, not hack, but to find out.
Not hack?
Well, I think I would have access
Your
to
little
security
holdover
footage.
from Lark's age. You and your.
Sorry, cream soda and
Not
Frankies.
sorry.
There's
No,
a bin.
this is great.
Look,
I would
you
love
remember
for you to
who
roll.
recruited me, all right? Come on. No, I want to check security footage.
Yeah,
whatever
I
that
do think
they're
this
not
is a
showing.
hack, though,
Okie dokie.
because this isn't Starfleet. We're not in Starfleet land, so it's going to be difficult. But you're very good at this. So difficulty 3.
Okay.
It's going to be control security.
Perfect.
And yes to your
Digital
focuses.
yeah.
Yes. Tactical system.
Do we
Well,
have
not
any
sorry, not
momentum?
digital hacking. What's that?
Do we have any momentum?
We have lost at least 2 because of scene changes, so we might have 1 left.
Do you mind if I
Actually, I'll
take
go
it?
ahead and say if you all have a different count, let me know. But 1 extra from chat. The voice of God, Mike, tells us.
Okay, I'm gonna take one.
All right,
Can we call Mike Veeger from now on?
Veeger, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Veeger
Wait, does
has
that mean
spoken.
and that just means I roll 2 die, right?
Yeah, you're gonna roll 2 d20s. The difficulty is 3, so you need 3
Yeah.
successes or more.
I rolled 2 successes, but not one was not a crit. I have values.
You do have values, and it's the end of the session, so it's a good
There's
time
my
to-
value. There's no barrier I can't break through. Bam.
There you go. Usually, I would require you to use this before you roll, but it's okay.
Oh.
We're at the end of the session, and this is an important moment. So go ahead and pop that value. You get the crit and bank that extra momentum.
I did not get it. Oh yeah, that's right. It was a crit. So yeah.
It's an auto crit. Yep. So you got 4 successes total. So here's what you find when you go into your pad, hack very quickly and easily hack the Southern Winter Games digital system.
They need better firewall. I could fix that for them.
Here's what you see. You get a feed of multiple different conversations happening, and also you can both see digital, like messages being sent. You can see video footage. What do you want to look at first? There's audio, there's video, and there's text.
I want to go. What's like emergency services? What would emergency services be? Because obviously there's something, an emergency happening.
Yeah, so there's audio dispatch saying rescue crews are, they've located her. She seems to be unconscious, but they're bringing her onto the shuttle. Yep. Okay, she's going to be back on the ground. We're going to need an emergency team. They're taking her straight to the cabin, cabin 1. Over and out.
I'm looking. Are we cabin 1?
You are not cabin 1, but I think I'll give this to you with the number of successes. You're cabin 5. So you're just a few cabins over from this. You also probably, with your digital hacking, you would have seen a map. And cabin 1 is the one that's closest to the mountain where all of the big individual events are happening. You also see corresponding video while that audio is happening. You see video of from a shuttle that has breached over the clouds and is now in the upper atmosphere. You see a floating Carmen Nieves just kind of limply floating above the clouds until they take her into the shuttle.
I'm going to basically, well, maybe I won't show that I hacked into something in front of the commander. But I want to tell everybody, but I don't want to be in trouble. Oh, I'm so torn.
It's a dilemma. That means you have 2 lemmas.
I have lemmas of 2.
While you're deciding.
No. Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't have anything. What do you decide? This is the last moment, that's why.
I'm just going to turn and be like, I don't think she's okay. They just sent her to medical. Cabin 1.
Perhaps we should visit your friend in
I'm not
cabin
going
1.
to tell them how I got that information, though.
Perhaps we should all head to cabin 1 to visit your friend, Reon. If they would let us.
Was she my friend? I look around.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Veluth. Veluth mentioned that that this Carmen Nieves had visited the station.
Ah, yes, she was a disruptive visitor, but certainly not worthy of an accident. If we wish to go check on her, I'm sure that she would appreciate that.
I agree. We should make our
Adenkar says, let's go, and we'll say a prayer to the prophets on our way.
I'll smile at my dad. Because it's kind of, For any of the awkward moments of where Reon isn't sure if what he just said was offensive or not, every now and then he can glance over at his dad, and when he says something like that, it just calms him a little bit, and he'll nod.
Is Ty back yet? Out of curiosity.
Like just the saddest hangdog pup. Yeah.
So as we're walking out to leave for cabin 1, you just see Qila put a hand on their shoulder, just to, give it a squeeze.
What's going on? I heard the announcers.
I don't think she's okay. Something must have happened. We're gonna go see her in cabin 1. But also, are you okay?
Later. First to the patient.
Typical Ty fashion.
And to the patient you all go. Down the tubes, across the hills, to cabin 1 we go. And with that, we will end this session of Clear Skies Perseverance. And I want to thank all of my players. We had some really gorgeous, emotive scenes today, and thank you for that. That was gorgeous.
But what
all
about those Yankees, huh?
What about those Yankees? We also had a phenomenal number of merch ideas. So seriously, someone write these down, please.
Exponentially, they kept growing.
Paramount, make the merch. We're
Jordy
workshopping
Sleep
for you.
Mask! Come on, let's go!
Jordy Sleep Mask. My God, if Paramount doesn't get on that right now, come on, CBS, somebody.
Come
on. Somebody will do it. Somebody do it too.
Yeah, whoever's
Anyway.
watching us, USS Chala.
We are just saying, to be clear, we are saying Paramount and CBS, we want you to make it so that no one's messing with your copyright, okay?
We like to maintain the boundaries of intellectual property.
Exactly. We are
But
not
also have Sleep Mask.
encouraging people watching who are not Paramount and CBS to make merch that is just to be clear, so we're not,
Starship Slippers, let's go!
That being said,
Fleet.
Ambassador Kale, are you the one? Did you create "May the Prophets Help You Shred" in chat? Was that you, or is that somebody else that did that? That's you. Okay. Would you mind?
May the prophets shred.
Thank you. I was gonna
May the
say, could you
prophets
please? May the prophets help you shred. Should be my
That
new sign off.
destroyed me. I was so glad I wasn't talking because I
I'm
was
gonna replace
done.
hailing frequencies
God.
are closed with "May the prophets
I
help you
need
shred."
all of this Southern Winter Games merch. I need, oh my God, I need so much of it. I need an EV. I need a windbreaker that has the Puerto Rican flag on it and Southern Winter Games.
Yeah.
And Mars logo. I made a Mars logo. Okay, we can do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, legally we can do
Mars.
that. Listen.
Puerto Rico won't sue us.
Yeah.
No, Puerto Rico will love it.
Theoretically.
All right, y'all. Let's close this out. Have a wonderful night.
There it is.
Take care of yourselves.
Yes, take care. Remember what we said about
Or
rest.
else.
Rogan 27. We're talking directly to you.
Talking to you, Rogan.
Yep. And everyone, rest. Thank you so much. We will be back next week with episode 9. And
Everyone go
what's
to
my
Nat Bay.
outro? Do I have an outro?
And may the prophets
May the prophets
Help you shred.
help you shred.
Yes!